Linda Sarsour. I'm the director at the Arab American Association of New York. And I want to speak to the Park 51 and how that issue has really brought the Muslim American community together. And I think people are angry about what's happening and the rhetoric that they're hearing from anti-Muslim and some of the politicians using the Park 51 as an issue to separate voters and to get votes. And I think we as a community are hoping to take our anger and how we're feeling about this rhetoric and take that to the polls. And the action would be to vote and vote against politicians who are against religious freedom, vote against politicians who are opposed to Park 51. And I think there's a lot of voter education, and I believe that the 800,000 Muslims in New York City, if we all went to the polls, if we were able to encourage all of our community members to vote, I think we could definitely be swing voters and really pull an election. And I hope that that's something that we can do very soon.
Hi, I'm Michael Grimm. I'm running for Congress in the 13th Congressional District, which is Staten Island in the southwest tip of Brooklyn.
Do you think Park 51 project got something to do with the upcoming elections of November 2nd?
Well, sure, because it's an extremely sensitive, emotional issue. I mean, most of America is against it, and of course, I completely understand why the Muslim community would take offense to those that not accepting that a mosque be built at ground zero. So it's a very sensitive issue. At the end of the day, though, I do not want this issue to further divide the Muslim community from the rest of America. I think that's what we need to avoid, and that's really where my focus is. How best to bring the Muslim people here in America closer and assimilate better with the rest of America.
I wanted to know, how has your mind changed about that, considering that you stood against the Islamic Center in the Midland Beach area, where you stood with the community against the Muslim community, and then also around the Islamic Cultural Center in Lower Manhattan, which is not even a part of your jurisdiction, and you felt obligated that you had to weigh in. And so for me as a Muslim American and also Arab American, I feel troubled when you come and you speak to us and you tell us you have our back, but yet I feel like I've been stabbed in the back.
And with regards to the center in Manhattan, it has nothing to do with anything else than the fact that, because you said that I don't represent the area, but I represent a third of the firefighters and their families who were killed on 9/11. I represent over 10% of the families of people who were killed that day, even though my district in the region is about 2%, so we were hit very hard. And quite frankly, members of families who I'd known, who had been to funerals or funerals without any remains, memorial services, who I put up street signs for, whose children I've helped out to written letters for to get into college, came to me and said it is simply too painful for them personally to have this discussion. Is there a way not for us to have this discussion? I think certainly, and that's why I took the position I did. And it's not a question of religious right. It's a question of respecting the fact that there are those whose hearts are still broken from a tragedy that had nothing to do with anyone in this room. Is there a religious right? Certainly. Is there a way to respect the loss and tragedy that befell so many people? There is as well, and that's a position that I took.
Nicole Maliotakis. I think it is up to our elected officials and legislative leaders to bring everyone together and sit at the table and discuss what our options are. If the idea is to build a bridge and build one community, then that's the first step, is to sit down at the table, discuss it. And we need elected officials, starting with the governor in New York, who will bring together those communities, who will create a dialogue between them so we can discuss what the best options are to satisfy the most people.
My name is Khadr Al-Yatim. I am a pastor of Salam Arabic Lutheran Church in Berridge, Brooklyn, and also a board member of the Arab American Association of New York. For me, as a Palestinian Christian working with the Muslim community, it has been important, this unity among us Arabs and Muslims, to fight for causes. I am in full support of the Park 51 mosque as a Christian, and I think being together is going to make a huge difference about what we are fighting for in this country. Well, we are encouraging and speaking publicly about the importance to go out and vote. We worked very hard to register as many people as we can so they can be ready to vote when the elections come on November 2nd.
My name is Chris Rominger. I'm the Associate Director at the Arab American Association of New York. And I think we're at a crucial turning point right now, just a couple weeks before the midterm elections, as far as the Muslim community goes. for turning out the vote. Right now, it is very difficult for the Muslim community, especially in New York City and nationwide. You see, Islamophobia making its way into mainstream politics, mainstream media, and as unfortunate as that is, it does have the consequence, I think, of bringing more people's attention to the polls. People are starting to realize, well, if this is something I have to deal with in my everyday life, if politicians are making my identity as a Muslim an issue, then I can't sit back and let them do that. I have to, come out to the polls and make something happen.
Absolutely, and I think it's necessary. It's an essential part of being an American, is getting involved in the political process. So the unity, listen, as I said before, nobody except the American Indians comes from America originally. We all come from somewhere. This is a nation of immigrants. And each group that has come here had to overcome adversity to be accepted. It's part of the process. It's somewhat normal. But it takes mutual understanding, mutual respect, and leadership to bring us together. And I believe that there's no question in my mind that as all the other groups before that have made America great, the Muslim community will take America to the next level and make it even better than it is now.
Look, we see people in Muslim countries dying to go vote. Literally. Some of them are executed while they're waiting online to vote. So this is why it's so important here in America, where we have that privilege. It's not only a privilege, it's a responsibility.
Hi, my name is Jack Malone, and I'm a community leader here in Bay Ridge. Well, as with every immigrant group that comes to this country, the hardest thing to do is to assimilate into a new way of life. But as you grow, and as the community grows, the Muslim community grows, it's very, very necessary to become part of the larger community. And the way you do that is to get involved in the political process.